your offer on a stick to their people that come in, their customers. And the farther and wider you do this, the more of you gets in front of new people. The other thing is surgical strikes. This is important these days because it's very hard to do. I talked about before one and dones. This is even more important because marketing to the generic population is very hard these days with all the clutter and also with all the noise. Marketing to the general population these days is almost foolhardy. You're going to be wasting a lot of money, like thousands of dollars. So spending, $8,000 in marketing 15,000 pieces to just your general neighborhood. Yeah, the numbers are there, and the potential for getting a lot of new patients all at once is there. And if you're in a rural area, go for it. But nowadays, you want a surgical strike. That means focusing in on demographics such as their age, their income levels, that kind of thing. Psychographics, which is their interests, hobbies, and problems. Specific problems they're having, such as missing teeth, and target them specifically. What you'll get is a higher response for less cost. Now, if you add on all those things that I talked about before, you'll of course get more new patients coming in, and you don't have to spend as much. So there's one example of surgical strikes is the Ultimate Sales Machine by Chet Holmes. Chet Holmes was working for Charlie Munger, which is Warren Buffett's right-hand man in Berkshire Hathaway, and he was involved in producing multi-millions of dollars worth of extra sales for the company. Now, how a dentist can use that is because what he used was called the Dream 100. So you take 100 of your prospects that you would definitely want the most, and then you market at them until they become your patients. Okay, say, let's take rich people, for example, selling to the affluent. If you have a neighborhood that's near you that's very affluent and you want to target them, well, it would make such a big impact on your office to have these people come in to you to be your client. Of course, that goes along with positioning as well. The affluent people want to be associated with celebrities. They want to associate with celebrity authorities and people that are branded properly. And, it gives them bragging rights to say that they're part of your patients. The other way of doing surgical strike, of course, is something illustrated here in the culture code, which is targeting ethnic groups. And so you know what each ethnic group is looking for, and you hone in on that. So instead of you have one broad message that doesn't appeal to anyone, you have a bunch of little messages that appeal most often to these groups, these little groups here. You have much greater response from those groups. It takes a little bit more management, but in the end, less cost and a far greater response to you. So referrals. Referrals are the best, of course. They cost the least, and your patients, of course, are your best source of new patients. But how do you get more referrals? How do you double the number of referrals? Well, now first of all, they trust you, so it's more likely they'll be able to recommend. Now the problem with someone referring, imagine someone referring. They had a good example at your office, but when they go home, they forget. Now let's see how people refer. When they came to you, they had a good time. Say you helped them out with some pain they were having, and now they don't feel any pain, and so they feel gratitude. And they're really ecstatic. So they go home, they tell one, maybe two people, and then they forget. There's a whole bunch of other people that a month later they were wanting to tell, but they forgot. Or, on the other hand, maybe that person's a little bit shy, and they don't know how exactly to refer. They don't want to bother people, what they say. So how do you take that variable out? How do you make it so that patients can say the same thing over and over again, and it's easy for them to refer, and they don't have to remember all the time? Well, you can give them the offer on a sticks. Pepper your office with reminders. So follow the path of your patient while they walk through your office, and pepper your office with reminders about referring. Include it on your receipts. Hold contests. Hold promotions just for referrals. and give them a big prize. Make them excited to take part in this promotion. Make them excited to tell everyone about you. And then if you have that as an ongoing system, then you can increase your referrals by 50% or double. And finally, one of the best ways to get new patients is a lot of littles. A lot of littles equals a lot these days. So to have one big magic bullet kind of marketing piece may get you a lot of things. May get you a lot of patients, may get you a lot of production. But in the end of the day, to have a formulaic and strategic approach to make sure that you have predictable results over and over and over again, you have to combine all these methods into systems that are running all the time, and then people are coming in from that. It's a lot easier to do that and a lot less risky than it is to rely on one-off. I mean, if you do something and you're getting 100 new patients a month, chances are another dentist will come in and eventually it'll be down to 50 a month and then 25 a month and so on. It's too easy to lose that kind of magic bullet. So these days what we can rely on a whole bunch of systems giving you a little bit of new patients each, and then the combined effect giving you a whole bunch. Thank you for tuning in to this night's episode of Late Night Dental Marketing Talk, where we talked about getting new patients in your door. Stay tuned for the next topic, which is doubling your production. Ooh, that should be a good one. So keep in touch, and we'll see you soon. If you enjoyed this information and would like to receive 15 free videos of the top questions and answers dentists ask about dental marketing, increasing patients, production and profits, and practice management, please visit www.doubleyourpracticenow.com or dypnow.com.